to all of you, our hometown girl, and many of us here today can say, yeah, we knew her when. I give you Beth Albright.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for thinking of me, and I'm very honored to be part of this fantastic event. Well, I have done a lot of stuff, and I was thinking, you know, this is the fun and fundraiser. This is brunch for boobs. So why not tell you my funniest breast story, because I have one. When I was on the radio in Birmingham, I was on WAPI for a long time, and I was right out of college, and I was super excited because, you know, I was on the radio and I was interviewing Bob Hope and Oprah Winfrey, but, you know, I just really wanted to get to know folks on the soap opera side because I just had this little obsession that it would be so much fun to play a psychopath and still look glamorous, and the only place you could do that is on a soap opera. And so I just became obsessed that I needed to know how to get on one. So I started interviewing William J. Bell, who created The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. He's no longer with us, God bless him, but I loved him to death. We got so close, eventually we were sending Christmas cards back and forth. And so he asked me, I asked my radio station, could I come to Los Angeles and do a live from LA with the little ulterior motive that said, please, I really just want to go and be on The Young and the Restless. I knew if I told Mr. Bell I was coming, he would give me a part, and he did. And I was playing a college student, and the college student, when I was, I don't know, in my mid-20s, I guess, I didn't have a line. I was just supposed to walk and hold some books and kind of pretend to be talking like this, not say anything. They didn't even mic me or anything. They knew better, because then I would not stop talking. But, so, I've always been a little plump, okay? Everybody who knows me, this is no secret. This is a lifelong issue. I just have a lot of flesh. And so, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on a soap opera. Gotta buy girdles. And I'm talking like steel, reinforced, hold everything up to my chin, squeeze everything to my rib cage, can't breathe girdles. And I did it. Needless to say, I was going to turn blue if they taped for too long. So I put everything on and got into my place, and I hit my mark, and I'm going to demonstrate how we were supposed to walk. I'm walking in, and I'm supposed to do a big turn. And there's the camera when I turn. So I have my books, and you know what? Jesus just makes sure you're taken care of, because he knew I was going to need those books. So they gave me the books, and they said, action, and I started to walk, and I'm walking, and I'm thinking, this is great, I'm on a soap opera. And just as I made the turn, the left breast smelled sweet freedom and made a run for it. Right underneath my left armpit. Hello, Mr. Director, because now you're right in front of me, and my left breast is over here, and my right breast is up to my cheek. But how? Because I have books. Guess where the books went? I just kept right on walking. And I thought, you know, I don't have much to do. Surely they'll just take this one take and let me get out of this thing that I have concocted around my waist and my boobs and everything else. No, we had to do 6 takes because they wanted me to be chit-chatty with the actors that were on the set. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? As I'm walking by. I couldn't think of anything, but why am I feeling my boob over here in my armpit? Well, this breast had nowhere else to go, and it was also very squeezed in and up to my cheek, so it made its way over here too. And next thing I know, everything's kind of over here saying, hi, how you doing, Mr. Director? That was my first experience on a soap opera. After about 5 takes, they asked me if I was okay because my lips were slightly purple, and it was because my rib cage could not expand and detract like it was supposed to. I come to you today all natural. I'm in a bra, but not even a Spanx, because I just needed to breathe today. So I'm really excited to be here, like I said, and I told my son, who everybody knows is the love of my life. I had one baby. I had a stroke when I had him, so he was the one, and you know, poor baby, because he's had to carry that burden and will have to carry that burden the rest of his life with a crazy mama. But I said to him, he called me the other night, he's a freshman at Berkeley, and he said, well, good luck, and I love you, and you'll be fine. I said, you know, Brooks, I'm a little bit nervous. And he said, why in the world would you be nervous? Don't you just have to talk? And I said, yeah. He said, well, oh my gosh, all you ever do is talk. So I thought, okay, you're probably right. He said, you know, you probably would be nervous if they told you to sit in a room and be quiet for an entire hour. Then I could see you'd be nervous. So I'm excited that he was, you know, on my side and everything. And by the way, you know, I was born and raised here in Tuscaloosa. And I love this city like it is paradise. People who live here and go to church here and work and go their everyday lives here probably just don't quite understand. But once you leave, you know, it becomes the nirvana. And my husband, who's a Yankee, I know, I'm sorry. He catches it all the time too, because for a while there he didn't leave, and you know what we call those Yankees. And so when we were in California and I was doing my early Days on Days of Our Lives, I had gotten that part thanks in part to Mr. Bell, who had helped me get into the unions, the Screen Actors Guild, and AFTRA and all that you have to be in to receive a principal part. And I loved being on Days of Our Lives, and I would call my brother all the time and say, I'm so homesick, and he said, I don't want to hear it. You know, you're on a soap opera where you open your eyes. And I'd say, no, because I had been on the radio in Birmingham, and I love talking to people, and I love people talking to me, and I love hearing everybody's stories, because I think everybody, celebrity or not, has a story to tell. And that to this day, is in fact my most favorite job I've ever had, is to be a talk show host. But finally the day came after 8 years of marriage that we were pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, because the deal was, when I finally get pregnant, I'm going home to Tuscaloosa to have a baby. He never thought in a million years I was really going to do it. Because, you know, I was finally on a soap opera. Would I really leave the soap opera to come here to have Brooks? Well, of course I would. Would he make his grand entrance in L.A.? A baby of mine is going to have to make their grand entrance in Tuscaloosa. Right, okay. Because, you know, they don't even know what Roll Tide means when I say it in L.A. They just think I'm some sort of crazy woman. So I loaded up my car and came to L.A., and I was getting more and more nauseous. I mean, came to Alabama, and I was getting more and more nauseous and more car sick the whole way. And about halfway, we're in Texas, and my husband says, you know, we really don't have to do this. I said, what? He said, you just need to kind of get over, you know, that you're from Alabama. We live in California now. Okay, I'm telling you, if I had not been in the deserts of West Texas, I would have called a divorce lawyer. Because you don't tell a Southern belle, get over the fact that you're from Alabama. Oh, that he caught it when we got home. I went crying straight to my mother. Find me a lawyer now. But I was very happy when I got home. I mean, I was a typical Southern belle, pregnant, and what do? We cry and we need our mamas. And so I came home to have my baby here. He was born here, I'm happy to say. And I mean, when I'm thinking of Tuscaloosa, I'm like, I go into a Tuscaloosa trance. Okay, what am I thinking of? I'm smelling dreamland, I'm thinking taco casa, my sister-in-law's fried green tomatoes. I go into like some sort of faraway state. Got to get to Tuscaloosa. And then I started thinking, everything I'm saying has to do with food. If I wasn't like that, I might not have needed all those girdles on Days of Our Lives. But I do love to eat. You know, people have asked me why I wrote my book. And I'm just going to let you know, I was homesick. We've lived all over. I had my acting school in Texas for about 7 years. And I stay perpetually in this homesick state. Tuscaloosa and the Warrior River, you know, the meandering indigo colors going into that bright, hot pink and turquoise sunset. And the wonderful downtown that's just a woven tapestry of the old movie palaces and the history that's there. And I never miss seeing it and enjoying it and being in the moment when I get to be in town. And of course, that glittering campus, my Alabama Crimson Tide football. My grandfather was the play-by-play announcer in the 1950s, and so his picture hangs in the Bryant Hall of Fame. So I'm telling you, when I say I bleed crimson, in my family, we bleed crimson. And it was football season when I was driving home to have my son. I was like, oh my God, Dreamland and Alabama football. I didn't know what to do with myself. Days of Our Lives had nothing on that. So I was thinking to myself when I started writing my book, yes, I was homesick for the campus and for the downtown and for the Warrior River and all of the things that I call home. But what I was really and truly missing was the people. And my sweet steel magnolias, and the women who have made me who I am today. And that's really what the book is about. When I wrote the book, it's about 5 strong, sexy, smart Southern women. Some of it's a little naughty because we had to have a little fun. And hopefully it'll be coming out sometime next year. I did just speak with 3 publishers in Northern California just this past week. So I'm excited about that. We'll cross our fingers. But when I was thinking about the women who really made me who I am, I first think about my grandmothers. I had a city grandmother and I had a country grandmother. And I learned about both sides. I learned about working in a garden in a hot summer day and shucking corn and shelling peas. And I went to my city grandmother's house and she sold Charles the Ritz, and I learned about painted nails and seams going up the back of my hose. And I learned how to be a demure Southern belle, and she would always check my nails. Beth, let me see your nails. And look at them. Oh my goodness, because I was a biter. Well, thank goodness for acrylics, because we don't have to worry about the nails not looking good anymore. So I loved my grandmothers to death, and then I was thinking about the steel magnolias that really do make up my life. And really that's what we are. Because I have lived all over, I feel comfortable in saying that we have people from the north and people from the east and the west and all of that. But there's something unique and wonderful about the Southern woman, and especially about how the Southern woman raises their families. And most importantly, from what I've seen in my life, is how the Southern women stick together. Thick and thin, we've got each other's backs. Okay, I'm gonna make a little statement. You guys know we can gossip a little bit as long as we say, well, bless her heart. Well, then all is forgiven somehow. And when somebody says, bless her heart, they're going to probably say, well, she looks like a pregnant heifer in that dress, but but then we love her anyway because we started out with bless her heart. That's something wonderful and unique to the South. The Southern women that I know taught me how to be a lady and how to be proud of being a woman. And at this particular fundraising event, that's very, very important. And it's very important to know how important it is to stick together during times of trials and times of thrills in life. To have those women who understand that common experience and that we can share things with. We're like each other's life preservers, really. We're like the floaties on the arms in this vast ocean of the thrills and trials of life. And if we didn't have our Southern women friends, if we didn't have our steel magnolias or our sassy belles, then what would we really be without those women? And you think about what you've been through. If you've been through cancer, you've been through death, divorce, and any other tribulation or trial of life, who is it that really buoyed you up and really helped you see the next day? I can look over here at this table and know that my mother has held my hand and watched my dreams and watered my garden of humongous dreams for my entire life. And I'm so happy she's still with me today to be able to experience me getting a chance to talk to my hometown like this. So I love you, Mother. My other girlfriends over there, thank you. My other girlfriends over there are my sisters in every way. And one of my sisters in particular saw a friend of hers through cancer and flew back and forth, I don't even know how many times, to Houston. While this lady who is from Tuscaloosa needed help to be buoyed up, needed help to stand up. And she flew back and forth on her own dime over and over and over until this lady could stand on her own feet. And that's just her, that's just Joyce. And I noticed things like that, and I noticed that those kinds of friendships are so rare. When you leave the South, I'm telling you, I just haven't, maybe it's just me, but I just haven't found that kind of camaraderie and sisterhood in other places. And my baby girl Susan over there, who I have known since I was 16 years old, has been my girl and my sister in every way and has helped me through many things in my life. And I'm so glad they could be here. And my mother's own steel magnolias of Juanita McCollum and Faye Hubbard, who helped her until she could stand on her feet when my father died in a car wreck when I was only 4 years old. Those women have been in my life, part of my life, and their children and their daughters and my friends and my grandmother's cousins, aunts, the women in my life really made me who I am today. And that's what the book is about. When I decided to write Hearts of Dixie, I was so homesick for Alabama, but then as I began to write, it was learning and writing about the women and taking bits and pieces of everybody I've ever known and put them into all these fascinating, fabulous, sometimes naughty characters that are in this book. So I'm really excited, and hopefully it will be coming out soon. We cross our fingers, because in the field of the arts, it's always a crap shot. So I've been taking a lot of them, and I've been really lucky. I enjoy being on Days of Our Lives like crazy. I really enjoyed doing the stints on The Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful that I did. But I really loved having my acting school. It was about 1,000 children over 7 years, and many of them stayed with me throughout the entire 7 years. And I became like a mama. I only could have one baby, so I had a stroke when I had him, but these other children were my babies too. And so all of those things kind of went into the book. You write about what you know. And so I've been to a couple of writers' conferences, and they've asked me, you know, why would you want to write now? Why wouldn't you want to go back to acting or back to being a talk show host or any of those things? And I think because I really like spending time with the women in the book, because they are my steel magnolias. They are our sassy belles. And I've called it Sassy Belles now for a while because, you know, really when you think about it, what is a Southern belle? It's a steel magnolia. Well, bells are made of steel, and that just kind of describes us. One time somebody asked me, wow, you know, Southern writers are so interesting because every time I read a Southern writer, they always have the most, well, how did they put it, different, kind of crazy, well, you know, kind of people we don't always let out of the house every day. We just want to keep them quiet, and maybe not everybody will know about them. How is it that the Southern writer can come up with those people? And you know what I told him? We were raised by crazy. I'm telling you, I love you, Mother. We were. And we know crazy. We can write about crazy in the South. It's just part of our heritage, and it's just part of what makes us special. I want you to look next to you and look at the steel magnolias, the sassy belles in your life, and give somebody a hand squeeze that has helped you, that has buoyed you up, that has seen you through, that know you and love you and have your back for the rest of your life. You know how rare that is? That's rare. And I'm in a room full of it. So you know how exciting that is to me to look out and see how everybody is here together. That bond is something that's unbelievable. And that's what I'll continue to write. They're talking about now whether the book is going to be Hearts of Dixie or Sassy Belles. Well, there was a new TV show that came out. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I don't think it's very good, but you know, bless their heart. Called Heart of Dixie. Oh my Lord. They're trying to be from the South, but they really need me as a consultant because they just don't have it quite right. I don't like those stereotypes. Do you? So now my agent has been telling me we're going to call it the Sassy Belles and the Sassy Belle Club, and so be on the lookout for that. I don't know which way they'll eventually go. I just hope it goes, because I will come back to Tuscaloosa to launch that book. There will be no launching of it anywhere else. Of anything I do, I will always come to Tuscaloosa. I want to close by saying thank y'all so much for having me. It has been super exciting for me to be part of this event and to watch these wonderful women, you know, in their element and doing what they do. Some of these people that are your sisters, they're not necessarily sisters by blood. They're just your sisters because of the bond, and sometimes that's even stronger, that's even better. And in the books that I write, that is exactly what you will see. You will always see the Southern woman portrayed as brilliant and beautiful and bonded with her sisters, even though we say bless your heart under our breath sometimes. We will continue to write about those things because that's who I am and that's who I became because of the way I was raised right here in Tuscaloosa. So thank you very much for having me. My website is www.bethalbrightentertainment.com, and you can read my blog, which I think are my best stories from the South, and it's called www.thesassybelle.com. And so please enjoy it, follow me, let me know you're there. You can email me, the tags and the links are all there for you to enjoy and get in touch with me anytime you need to. I want to say one last thing. I had a favorite Southern belle for years that was on TV. She knew how to play a Southern belle because she was one, Delta Burke. Suzanne Sugarbaker knew how to do it. She was smart, she was sassy, she was funny, and she always knew how to bond with her sisters and take care of them when they needed her. And she had a statement that a lot of you can relate to because in the South we certainly know our beauty pageants. And I think one of the best things that she said is one of my favorite quotes. She said, "Y'all know what? It's just nothing like being on the back of a convertible, waving to the crowd with a crown on my head. That's the best feeling in the whole wide world." So remember, each and every one of you are sassy belles. You're on the back of a convertible. You're wearing a crown and heavy lipstick and waving to your crowd because that's who we are. We are Southern women, and I'm so proud to be one.
Thank you, my baby.